executive.com. And I am popping on here this evening just to discuss some ideas that you should be considering as we wrap up 2023 and get started with 2024. This is just a super time of the year where we can begin, if we haven't already, begin planning for what you want to accomplish in 2024. Now, I know a lot of you probably already do this, but for some of you that are looking to start something new or get your plan together after the first of the year, the time to do it is now during the month of December. Actually, if you start it in November, that would even be better. But if you haven't started already, or maybe you're not a goal person, I'm going to ask you to consider setting some goals or at least identifying some targets. Because if you are running a business or you are looking to launch a business, we have to make sure that we're super laser lucid clear on what are we, what are our goals? Or if you don't like that word, because I get I get a significant amount of feedback sometimes from people that say that they don't like goals, or they don't use goals in their framework of the business. Now, if you are in a sales role or if you have sales reps, chances are, you are obviously they have quotas, their KPIs, but maybe if you're in a situation where you're looking to launch a business, perhaps you're still in corporate, maybe you're a C-suite executive, you're looking to launch your business. And if you haven't had sales experience, super important that you are open to identifying those targets. Because over the thousands of people that I have coached over the last several years, if we don't set the clear targets, then obviously we're not going to hit them. And it's going to be more of, well, let's just see. I'll try that. I'll try this. Those are not good strategies. And, when I hear things like that, then that alerts me that the person is really not that serious or that committed. And, you know, I have to say that sometimes people are like that and they're saying, well, I'm going to try this, or, we'll see what happens, because they really aren't committed. Maybe this is something that a significant other or a family member wants them to do, but for them, they don't really want to do it. And so that's the other reason why I encourage you to set the targets, to get a plan together, to finish this year strong, and then, of course, get 2024 off on a great start. Don't wait until January 1st, because chances are then that won't happen. And then, someone will put it off till the next week and they'll say, "Oh, I'll start January 8th." That's something that a lot of people do, especially if they have health goals and they're looking to start, a new plan. But it doesn't matter what it is, you need to have some targets identified if you don't like the word goals. And this is not about a, long list of goals. If you start making a list of goals or targets, then over these next couple weeks, you can get super laser lucid clear on which ones you really are committed to or need to be committed to. Okay. Because when I mentioned that about, some people not really being committed, that's not an excuse or an easy way out. The reason why I brought that up is because, occasionally I do see and hear people that r- they really aren't committed. It's not something that they really want to do. Maybe it's about opening up another. I know you can hear my dog in the background. But in one case, I was coaching a client, and his wife wanted to open another franchise in a neighboring town. Well, he felt stretched and pulled in so many different directions, really, not really feeling like he had enough resources to do that. I'm not talking about financial resources, but just didn't want to do it. But if we didn't go through the process of getting clear on, where he was to where he wanted to be, and really clearly identifying what he was committed to be doing. Now, it wasn't easy for him to go back to his wife and say that he didn't want to open another franchise in a neighboring town. She was very excited about it, because they had a significant amount of success with the one in their town. Sorry, I'll shut my door. Okay. Jax, you're noisy. Okay. He likes to look out the window and bark. But anyways, okay. So so it wasn't easy for my client to go back to his wife and say, I'm just I feel that this is something that I can't commit to, or maybe I'll change my mind about it in the future, but right now, it just has to be a no. I'm just not committed to it, because what happens is, if we're doing things that we're not really committed to, we're going through the motions, right? Now, no one is saying that it's going to be easy every day. Like, if you're doing what you love, that's wonderful, right? I love what I do. I hope you love what you do, or you are at least getting closer to what you want to do and love, right? But nobody said it was going to be easy. So I do like to talk about, getting clear on, what you're committed to doing. Because if you are just going through the motions, or you're living out someone else's dream per se, that's not going to be fulfilling to you. And that's not good use of your time, because, time being our most valuable resource, right? We can't get that back once we spend it that way. And in my client's case in particular, I because he felt so spread so thin to open another one, even though they had teams of people and they were going to hire other people. It just, it just wasn't something that he was excited about. So if we don't sit down and schedule some planning sessions with ourselves and other people, other significant stakeholders or team members, then chances are we're not going to hit any targets, right? So, and I totally understand and respect that some people, have had maybe not a great experience with goals, or perhaps they're fearful that if they set the goal and they don't hit it, then they're going to feel bad about themselves. Other people are going to be down on them. The thing is, we cannot, when we're setting goals, with my clients, I like to have, I like them to identify, three personal goals or targets. and then 3 business goals or targets. You can use whatever vocabulary that you'd like to when you refer to those. But, because we do have to strive to have that harmony. It's not going to be exactly balanced all the time like a seesaw. However, if we don't forget our personal, we can't leave our personal goals out. We need to have our personal goals. Maybe it's to take a family vacation. Maybe it's to go away to a NASCAR race with your son, as an example. Maybe it's to go on a girls' weekend. Whatever it is, you need to have those personal goals and the business goals, because I know from being on a sales team and with AT&T. Of course, the goals that we set, some of those we shared, but we also had individual goals. And it's super important that whether you are launching company, you are, a C-level executive, or, a director, you have to make sure that you have your personal targets as well, because there are things that you want to do in your life. I'm sure maybe it's, to have a more streamlined work schedule. Maybe you're looking to potentially exit your business. Maybe you're looking to sell your business and you're looking to delegate more. Whatever the case is, we have to have those goals. We can't just wait and see what happens. Okay. Because, in life, we do have to have a whatever it takes mindset. I do not believe that we can have any other kind of a mindset besides doing whatever it takes. Because, we don't have control, right, of other people's reactions or what other people are going to do. However, we all know that we have control over how we react to circumstances or people's decisions. And so I feel that by adopting a whatever it takes mindset, which I learned from one of my great mentors, that really sets the stage to, have us know that, it's not necessarily a paint by numbers, right? We have to be able to, take things as they come. We have to have a plan, but we have to be able to address and overcome the obstacles. So, really, that's a nice way of saying don't give up. And specifically, don't use excuses, and don't, just don't take no for an answer. Because if you don't adapt that and really use that mindset, like I'm willing to do whatever it takes, you know then I feel that you could feel that you let yourself down on your goals. And so I think by just understanding that, we may have a plan of what it's going to take. We may have a business plan. We may say, this is going to be, the first 90 days, and then we want to hit the revenue goal of 500K for additional revenue in the second quarter, or 5 million, right? Doesn't matter if it's 500K or 5 million. But we have to make sure that it's not only us, but also our team members adapt and adopt that whatever it takes mindset. Because, everybody, we talk about the teamwork and being a team player, but, we should probably hire them that way, that they're willing to do whatever it takes. Nordstrom, I think, has one of the best policies as far as, really pre screening their employees and looking for those employees that go above and beyond. Because you know, it doesn't matter if they may have, some of these employees that come to Nordstrom, they may have been in retail before, but if they don't have the mindset, to really, do whatever it takes to have that customer just be smiling and so overjoyed, then they're probably not a good fit to work, with the Nordstrom brand, because the Nordstrom is all about exceeding the customer expectations. So I urge you to sit down, schedule 15 minutes, time to think. That's another great philosophy, great strategy that I learned from the same mentor that taught me about the whatever it takes. And it's really, that's another way of saying like no limits, right? Because if you are committed to hitting that goal, if you are committed to growing your company to 10 million or above, then you better be willing to do whatever it takes. Because, otherwise, you could very easily fall short. And, it doesn't matter how strong your why is. You may have a very strong why as far as, maybe you're looking to start a nonprofit. Maybe you're, looking to fund your children's education. Maybe you're looking to retire your parents. However, you still have to have that mindset of doing whatever it takes, because we don't know, what obstacles we you know, in our plan, we can do our research and have an idea what obstacles or maybe competition, whether we're selling products or services. Of course, we can be prepared like that, but we really don't know, what obstacles may come up. So we need to be in that mindset to do whatever it takes. So, anyways, it's about 17 minutes here. So I would just like to encourage everyone to share their ideas. And, if you're listening to this, let me know. Are you a whatever it takes kind of person? And if you are, let me know if you set goals. Are you using like the SMART framework for goals? Do you have your own framework? Let me know about that as well. And if you are not per se like an actual goal person, I would like to ask you, are you willing to set targets for you to finish up the year strong and to start the new year off with some very clear targets so that you can get to, from where you are to where you want to be? Let me know that. And if you don't want to put it in the comments, because I know I have a lot of people in my community that are looking to leave corporate. Some of them are looking to retire from corporate and really, pump up their side gig or launch a business. But whatever the case is, many of you already have businesses and you're just looking to level up. And, some of the people I talk with, quite frankly, I know one person in general had gotten to 5 million actually without really even having any clear plan, grew very quickly, but then hit a plateau. So, again, we don't really know, what obstacles are going to occur. But if you are not a target minded person, I would encourage you, and I'm not talking about the retail store, I would encourage you to set your targets slash goals for the end of this year, because today is November 29th. We want to be able to ramp up and really finish the year strong, and then of course start 2024 off with a lot of intention, and really being mindful of how we're using our time and what kind of return on time are we getting. That's super important, because we all know time is our most valuable resource. So we must use it wisely, and we can't return it once we use it. So please share your thoughts in the comments or send me a DM. And I'm going to wish you a wonderful and blessed rest of the week. I'm super excited. This is the time of the year, not only because it's the holidays, but this is such fall is where, I'm outside of Chicago, so I'm in the United States. So we're in the fall season. I know I work with a lot of people that are over in Australia, as an example, and it's their spring. But, for me, fall is a lot about renewal, right? The leaves are shedding off the trees. Many of them have already gone. There might be a few lingering, depending on what part in the United States that you're in. But, this is about getting rid of, I'm going to say getting rid of instead of just saying letting go, because sometimes we don't even know what to let go of. But, getting rid of habits, activities that are not contributing to our revenue. We need to focus on, if we're whether we're in sales or we're, continuing to level up our business, we need to focus on revenue producing activities. And not a week goes by that I'm not talking with people that do not focus enough on revenue producing activities. It has to be intentional, and you have to have a plan, and you have to have your time blocked out, as well as your team would too, right? For that, so that you're actually uh, focusing on revenue producing activities. That your company is always focusing on that and growing. Because otherwise, if you don't, you'll have peaks and valleys. Sometimes that happens if we start as solopreneurs, so to speak. When I started my caregiving company, it was just me as far as a leadership role. But of course, I had a team. I built a team of caregivers very quickly, because I didn't actually administer the care. But what I was doing was, uh, you know, getting sales, getting clients, hiring caregivers, and running the back office, which was more than enough to do, right? But starting out, I did that for the first 2 years before I was able to hire my first admin assistant, and it taught me a lot because I have the philosophy, and my dad taught me this, I would not ask anyone to do something that I haven't done or wouldn't do. uh, I felt that, that was a great learning time for me to be able to experience that. The back office stuff was quite a bit overwhelming. I was fine with, building relationships and building our sales pipeline, networking, working with people in the community. I loved hiring, recruiting, and hiring caregivers. And of course, my favorite part was working with the families and really getting their goals down, for their care plan, making sure that their loved ones were taken care of. But yeah, the back office stuff like paperwork and things like that have always not been my favorite, but they are necessary. So, anyways, I just want you to get super clear on what's important. And if you've been doing this business thing for a while, perhaps you're already, following an 80-20 principle, the Pareto principle, because, it really is just 20% of the actions that we're doing every day that are producing 80% of our results. So we need to make sure that within that 20%, we are focusing on the revenue producing activities. And if, let's say we have a large team, well, we need to make sure that the right people are focused on that and really maximizing the time, not just kind of, lollygagging around, as I like to say. So let me know your thoughts, share ideas. This is such a wonderful community for us to, learn from each other. Perhaps you have your own goal framework that you would share with us. So let us know. Have a blessed rest of your week. And I look forward to talking with everyone soon. Goodbye, everyone.